O'clock, we're here for Road and Bridge Department update. With that, we'll turn it over to Director Top.
All right. Well, the first one I have on here is a change order. You guys should have got a copy of that. Did you get a copy of it? If not, I'll give you one.
I saw that. It's sitting on the counter back there.
That one has a signature line too.
Yeah.
So, Road and Bridge received $2,546,970.54 in unanticipated revenue from the state. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to do a change order to our asphalt that we have right now. Paul's willing to carry that, the same prices that they give us this year, that's $79 a ton, into fiscal '26 to do that additional 5.5 miles of Clagstone, which would finish it from Kelso Lake all the way to Highway 41, is what we're looking at doing. That's the next
Here's of the director that came before you.
We're gonna take some chalk and do an outline.
You guys are making me nervous about this presentation, I'm just saying.
That was the last director.
I just mentioned the change order, right?
What would you like today?
There you go.
Thank you.
It's the Bonner County Cleaner of Directors.
So,
Your team is nowhere near you, by the way.
so back to this one. We got that $79 a ton, which is the best prices we've had in probably close to 12 to 13 years, roughly, for asphalt prices. And the reason we got them for that good of a price was because of how big the project was that we bid out. Mm-hmm. So we were able to suck in more people to actually bid on the project. To carry this to next year would be a benefit, in my opinion, to the public, to keep that $79 a ton, because if I have to rebid it, I'm more likely than not gonna be paying closer to $100 a ton and mow to have it put out there, because we're gonna have our locals bidding on it, and everybody else as well. Well, maybe not everybody else, but the chances are pretty high it's gonna be closer to $100 a ton.
It would be a much smaller scope of work.
It'd be a much smaller scope of work. So what I'm wanting to do is I've talked with auditing and I've talked with legal about how I could do this, because it's the unanticipated revenue hasn't been brought into my budget yet. It's still sitting there. So rather than bringing it into this fiscal year and then carrying it forward in 3 weeks, it'd be better just to bring it in for fiscal '26 to cover this project. So we have the funds for the project. We would just have to bring it in as unanticipated revenue for this project. What we're looking at bringing it in, I want to say it was I handed you my memo. I think it was 1.4.
$1,426,687.
There you go. Yeah, so that's what I'm wanting to bring forward and put it into my asphalt line for fiscal '26, which would be a different resolution that I would be doing sometime around the 1st of October. This one would be an approval of the change order to move that forward, being as it's already been competitively bid. We've already went through the process. And it would be in the best interest of the public.
Okay. Did we do action on this one? I didn't bring
did.
my laptop. Okay. All right.
I did an action discussion decision.
Okay. All right.
So with that, I will leave that one to you guys.
Okay. So is the board prepared to just vote on his request for the change order?
Sure.
Okay. At this time, we'll entertain a motion regarding the change order for PO Asphalt FY26 Clagstone Road to Kelso.
I move to approve the change order number 1 to the Bonner County Asphalt Projects 2025 contract for the unit prices listed and a total additional amount of $1,426,687.06.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any comment from the public? Seeing none, further deliberation by the board. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner
Yes?
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Donkey,
Yes.
All right. Next up.
All right, so the next stuff that I have are all just discussion. That was the only action item. So the Coca-Cola Bridge and the Poyer Bridge, it's just a little tiny bridge that we have out in Poyer. I had those checked out by HMH Engineering. Cost us about $27,000 to have them go out and actually inspect those bridges to see what kind of condition they were in and then produce a load rating for them. The bridge, they both came back as needing replaced. They have cracks. The one out there in Poyer, we want to just rip that one out and put a box culvert in it. We're just make it not a bridge anymore. It just makes more sense to get rid of that little bridge. However, the Coca-Cola Bridge, it needs to remain a bridge. But what we're wanting to do is there's 3 culverts in there along with the Coca-Cola Bridge that are failing. We would take those 3 culverts out and we'd put in a little bit bigger bridge to cover that span. We're guessing right now that that's going to be pretty dang close to $1 million project just for the bridge, which I think we're going to be pretty much on the money with that one. The environmental side of it, though, we would have to do an RFQ for because it's going to be over the threshold of 120,000. It's going to be closer to probably 250,000 to do that, is what we're estimating. They would have to come in, do all the environmentals, do the design, everything else on that bridge, and then move it forward. That's something that I'm just putting out there for you guys to know about, that we're thinking about. And I'm thinking about taking the additional 1.1 million that's left in this unanticipated revenue and sticking it in the Coca-Cola Bridge project. They are working right now on coming up with the weight restrictions because the bridge is definitely at a point that it needs to be replaced. That's their recommendation. So we
We're
don't
not
know what that's
expecting
gonna
any
be.
more bridge repair project money either from LTAC again?
No.
No.
The problem with this bridge is it's under the 30-foot threshold, so it doesn't get inspected by the state, which is why I had to hire HMH Engineering to do it. So it doesn't meet the qualifications for a Little B project, which I wish it did, because it would be ranked way up there for it. But being it's not, it's gonna fall to us to do it because it's under that threshold. So rather than procrastinating and waiting for that bridge to fail completely, we need to be looking at replacing that bridge and getting it out of there.
Commissioner Corn?
Is there, do you have a requirement as far as time intervals that you inspect all these bridges in the county?
So that's a good question.
What prompts the inspection?
Yeah, so what happens is all but these 2 bridges in Bonner County fall to the state of Idaho for inspection because they're over the 30-foot. So they are inspected on a year-to-year basis. I think they do one half of our bridges one year, they do the other half of the bridges the following year. All of those bridge report inspections are sent to me and to my engineer. We review those and send those out to the foreman. Our budget for bridges is 50 grand. It doesn't do a whole lot, right? So we don't get much done on bridges. Typically, if we do any kind of work, it's on the Poyer Bridge, putting planks in it, or the East River Bridge, putting planks in that thing until it gets replaced. I mean, there's not a lot that we can do with 50 grand on some of our stuff. We can shore things up and do small repairs, but not on the bigger repairs. That's why we go for grants for all of these things. This bridge, however, has never been inspected because it's so small. It's never fell under the ITD bridge program to be inspected. So going out there and looking at it, I started raising a lot of questions. I'm like, we need to have something that's gonna cover the county showing that this is a good bridge or not a good bridge, because I don't trust it. And that's why I hired HMH Engineering to do it. And that bridge is in a failed point. It's at the point, it's lost its life expectancy. It needs to be replaced. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I was wondering just what sets off the inspection.
Right.
So
My goal
never been
is,
inspected.
yeah,
How old is that bridge? Do you know?
I have no clue how old that bridge is. I know we've replaced the planks, I think 3 times. We do it about every 10 years since I've been here.
Do you know with removing the culverts in order to, I'm assuming make it a bigger clear span, easier to maintain instead of having the small bridge and the culverts, would it then exceed the 30-foot limit? in the
Yes,
future?
that's my goal. Because then it falls under ITD for the inspection. So my guess is when I'm done with it, I'm gonna have a 60-foot span bridge in there.
So that was gonna be mine, is how do we make it grow with our $1 million so we're not responsible for it
Yeah.
anymore?
And
then,
that's what we're looking, so
Can
we'd
you go-
still be responsible
Well,
for it, but we would have regular
access to
inspection.
other resources also
Yes.
because of the length. Can you go back to the Poye Bridge? When you say box culvert, I know that that has been a pain for Road and Bridge, especially because you guys have to suspend to do any repairs. How does that impact with what they can mess with in terms of that water underneath? Because there's a lot of problems going on right now with the water going high and low in that area, and it is that go-to, let's fish off the edge of that bridge like nobody ever drives over it. And will the apron that you guys already created help with what your plan is for that particular section?
So this is that little tiny bridge that's right in the top.
Oh, you're not
there.
on the
Not the
suspend-
high bridge.
The one that we would like to blow up?
Yeah,
Not
the high bridge, it's
But you want to
still,
blow that one up too, that is a
it still
horrible-
meets
Just
the
for the record.
requirements and ITD inspects that one.
Look, the people responsible want that bridge.
Yeah, so ITD
Never
does
mind, who cares
inspect that
about
one,
that?
and it is one that we have been applying for to get replaced, we just haven't been awarded it.
Okay, what do we have to do to get that risen up to we should.
Do
replace-
nothing to it and let it go.
How do we avoid a critical safety
Right,
issue?
I mean, really,
It's
that
growing.
bridge does need replaced, but to get a grant for it right now, based out of the Little B program, it isn't ranked good enough.
So
It,
you're talking about just the one straight across when you come into that?
yeah, it's just a little tiny bridge,
What
Yeah.
kind of span is that, do you know?
10 feet
We
maybe?
So
can't
that's why
grow
it makes
it.
sense to culvert it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to have a bridge there. We could throw a box culvert in there and widen that out to get the actual structural strength we need for the trucks to go over, because there's a lot of trucks that go over it, right?
Yeah.
And if I go with a different type of culvert, I could do it. I would just have to have one custom built
Yeah.
with a
And or
gauge
you'd have
metal
to
that can
build up
support
to
it.
get the
That,
cover fill over it to get the structural.
Right.
Yeah.
that is my question on that bridge, is what does that look like for, that bridge is low to the ground, but the weight of logging trucks that come in and out and all the other equipment trucks, most people don't do the turn to the Washington side to get out, even when you're going by that far. They just trample across that little tiny bridge. And there are some years where that creek does rise up actually quite a bit, so.
Yeah. They open it up and flood the fields out there with it
Mhm.
when it gets too high.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's nice about your idea of the concrete box culvert is that's actually more stable.
Yeah, we would
You have
be,
wet conditions than having two abutments that you're trying to float a bridge on, so.
Okay.
and we wouldn't be changing the amount of flow going through there, because we'd be going with the same span
Gotcha.
that's in there.
Oh, so it would be the same width?
Yeah, it'd be about 10 feet wider, whatever that bridge is for width. We're just gonna make it a little bit longer in there so that you have a little wider approach. Right now, you go over a 1-lane bridge, so it roughly have 2 lanes there when we're done to match the road itself.
Okay.
It'd make it
Right
easier.
before we do the big bump on the roller coaster. Just checking.
The big bump,
It's worth it in the snow because you can hit that
Right.
real good.
and it needs to be there too, otherwise you're gonna have issues with the rest
I've
of
never
Blanchard
said I'm a good
flooding.
driver. Never said that.
Yeah,
I know where all my divots are.
right.
So is that box culvert, is that a prefab thing? Or is that something that's built
It
in
would come
place?
in sections, probably more likely than not 3, that we
Okay.
would put together. And it has a sealant, like a mask that goes inside there, and then you stick it all together. And
Huh.
it's all concrete. They're pretty expensive. They can be upwards of a couple $100,000 depending on the size of them.
What is the estimated cost for the full project?
I haven't even looked at this project right now for this one. That's just what we're wanting to do with that one. I figured if we're able to do that project, it wouldn't be under this unanticipated revenue. It would be coming out of my HB 312 line that I have. And I'm figuring I can do it for under 200,000 is what I'm hoping.
That one's not at a critical and like the
No.
overall.
The problem with it is it is cracked underneath. It has some cracks in the abutment and stuff, which puts it into that needs to be replaced state. So we'll have a reduction in weight, which is gonna really mess up with the loggers out there, not that they pay attention to it anyways. But it will have a reduction on it until it gets replaced
Until it gets replaced?
Yeah.
When will the reduction go in?
shortly. They're putting that together right now, HMH
Because
is.
I get the text messages about
Be
what
prepared.
changes in
Yeah.
plans here, so.
Be prepared, because it's gonna
Are
be
you gonna
coming
call Campbell's
shortly.
and let them know to go?
I
watch
can call
them?
Nelson if
Because
you'd like.
It helps.
I will do it. I'll call Nelson and Shane and let them know, look,
You're
Call
gonna
them
have to
every
turn
time.
left.
yeah, there are plans to replace it, but it's gonna be a next year project that'll be bringing forward next year, once we get all that ironed out.
You know what the typical life expectancy is on the box culvert? Is it around 50?
They're about the same as our culverts. They're getting 60, 70 years out of them.
Nice.
What about
You would think
Blanchard
they'd get a
culverts?
little
Because I
more.
think we've pretty much pulverized some of the ones you guys just put in.
Well, if we didn't have winter, I would think we would get
By the-
more, but
by
now
the
we have
post
all those
office.
freeze
Right.
thaw cycles.
That wasn't our fault. 100%, that's not our fault.
We could put a box culvert in at the post office.
Water can still get through, it's just we slowed the water.
Just slowed the
Like
rate.
crunching it down a little bit. Okay,
So now, that is my plans for the rest of that money. You'll be seeing that come forward at a resolution after October 1.
I think
That
you've
will-
done a good job of identifying what needs. I think that it helps, especially when we're talking about budget, to say, we know that we're going to need to spend this. That way people know that all the work, because it's one thing, everybody knows, when you guys plow and when you're working on a road, but also the future forecasting of things is important, especially after we had to address that other culvert, recognizing that you made a change and you started identifying where are the culverts in the county, doing inspections of culverts. I think that's an important education to the community of, you're doing that with the bridges that need to be repaired too. So,
Yeah, we're trying to get where we can with what we got.
Yeah.
That's how that city culvert come about, because we found that and then notified them.
Okay.
I was very happy that wasn't my project. Although we would have been done with it if it was, but
I was gonna say
either
something.
way,
My
Wow.
gosh.
yeah.
See, I make jokes about the county.
That
stuff.
I like
wasn't
to-
us.
I like
Yeah,
to
it wasn't
pick on
us.
us.
If you're a butter, that was a trade.
Under the bridge.
I like to poke at them in fun, so.
Okay.
The next one I have on here is the other bridge projects that we have. So the Rapid Lighting Bridge number 5 and our bridge out on Colburn over Grouse Creek, those are being delayed as of this moment. The people you see working up there on Rapid Lighting Bridge number 5 is all of their senior office people because of the union,
Operators.
operators union strike.
Really?
So all their guys walked off the jobs. They're trying to get that stuff wrapped up and try to get that project finished up Rapid Lighting, but right now I can't guarantee it, right?
It's been going on 4 weeks.
Yeah, and when I look at the contract, in the contract, it specifically calls out strikes that LTAC has in there, so we can't hold them. It's outside of the wheelhouse of the contractor.
Possibility it goes into winter then, or spring?
There is a possibility. Nobody wants that to happen up there, and that's why you see all their guys from the office up there running their equipment. I went up and BS with them a little bit and laughed at them a little bit and just made it hurt a little bit more, just for fun.
Is that the customer service we were talking about?
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna go up
I
there
thought it
and
was
say
quite
nice
interesting.
things, Thank them for
You didn't
showing
bring
up.
donuts or
Right,
anything? You just went
nothing.
and said, ha ha.
Yeah,
How do you
so
start
they're-
this grader?
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully they will get that dealt with here pretty soon so they get back on track, but they were already on the rapid lightning one. They were already within a 4-day window, so that's put them out a couple weeks already on that, so we'll see how that's gonna work.
Did you get an
and what
update on
Mother
that
Nature
beam?
does. Yeah, so they inspected it, they had their, people from Contact that built it, they sent their engineers over. They went through that beam and did some minor fixes in there and stamped it and signed it off as perfect. So they were good with it and put their stamp on it. So that bridge it has the finish already poured on it. And then their strike happened because they were moving pretty good there for a little bit. The one out on Colburn may get pushed another 30, 40 days because of this strike. Right now, the outfit, I think they're getting it, I think that was coming from Contact Tees, where they're getting those girts. Might have been True North Steel, I can't remember where they were getting that one. Knife River, one of them. But anyhow, those ones are being delayed for delivery because of this strike.
Yeah.
So they're ready for the beams out there. They're just waiting on them. Now, when I talked with Bob Preza, he said it sounds like they may still receive them on the 16th. So they're hoping for that. If that happens, then they'll be back on schedule with that project. But I just want to let you know that that operators union is causing issues. It even stopped our asphalt projects for a little bit. And then they did the same thing. They even had their owner was actually out there, Mark Poe was actually out there on Spades Road paving. They're not completely finished with it yet. Sounds like they gotta come back and do the tie-ins for the approaches and then shoulder it, but at least the main line's in and paved on that, so. That's
Thanks
what you
for
give you
that
a
great
heads up.
plug for the unions.
Huh?
Thank you for that great plug for the unions.
Yeah. So that gives the update that I had for that. Tom is not in here. Tom has been replacing culverts on Trestle Creek, getting it ready for that project. They've been grading roads, and he's been out on the asphalt projects as well, and he's doing culvert replacements, one of which he's at right now, right by that bridge on Colburn, on both sides of it. Top of the hill and the bottom of the hill, being the road was closed. We had 2 culverts in there that were iffy, so we took advantage of it and replaced them. So that's what they're doing right now, being the road was closed right there. So I will go to Mark. What do you got going on, Mark?
Oh, we're grading roads. We are putting gravel on the first mile and a half of Bear Pond, which should be finished this week. Cleaning some ditches and gonna change the culvert on Dupert on Wednesday. Should have it down to 1 lane for partial of the day.
About Rowan, what do you got?
Oh, let's see, right now, I'm putting rock on Westwood Heights. It's got bare bones, so, got Al's Welding marked for trees that I'm taking. I already talked to 2 landowners out there, and I haven't got a hold of any of the others yet. But I at least got it pre-marked, getting it ready. I'm waiting for more moisture before I even attempt to put saws out there.
Especially since someone decided to do a bonfire down in that area too.
Yeah.
We need, because we did that meeting, which now everybody's calm on Al's Welding Road, we need to do like a PSA that says, we're coming through marking trees. If you have an issue, you need to contact Road and Bridge. That way we put the onus back on them, because that was one of the things we said was, the onus is on them.
Right.
We can.
So
Yeah,
if,
probably should.
I know I've already marked which ones I want to take. And now it's up to discussion on
what did you mark them with, like a
white spray paint.
white spray
With
paint?
an X.
So can I write a note and send it to Jason and you approve the note, and then I'll put it on my Blanchard Facebook, because we have our own little
Yep.
Blanchard Facebook that way, and then I'll call some of the known residents and say, you want that tree, it gets felled, because the agreement was, we chop it down if you want it, you pick it up where it lays. We're not chopping firewood, right?
Well, I'll be nice, and once it goes on the ground, I will move the log length back, so it's not close to the road, so when I go to re-rock, it's not going.
Yeah, but it's not, we're not chopping it into firewood, we're just gonna
Correct.
roll it a little bit farther onto their spot,
Correct.
and that's where it is, we're not removing it. If they don't want it, then we will remove them.
Correct.
And so if there's a person who wants it, they need to say within the next, what is a reasonable time, so that there's a date, that way I can say we posted it, we let you know, because that was part of the communication.
Well, that and Ron's supposed to be talking with each landowner before he sells a tree down too. So at that
Yes.
time, he'll
We're doing
know.
both, but we said we would make it,
Yeah.
we don't want to go, we got all of our issues resolved after we did
Yep.
our discussion in person, and you brought
Yep.
that document. And so this way it's increased communication, no frustration, we're done.
Yep.
And I'm not in a total hurry, so we can go 30 days or a month before I'm ready to start even attempting to take trees.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say 4 weeks from when he gives it to me to post. I'll say 4 weeks with a specific date, and I will say 5 PM at the end of the day. That way, I wanna be real specific, because they were very vocal about it, and we said what we would do, and that way, we're in a good spot. So, thank you.
See what else I got going. I'm out marking culverts on Flagstone right now, getting prep, want to change them this fall. Grading where I can, moisture dependent, but been putting my pumps closer now that they're done with Sunset Fire.
Water is very low out there right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's, I know our creek is low, and then where you guys pump water from in Blanchard is really low right now.
Yeah.
A question has come up on the Spirit Lake Cutoff Road. You know how it's just very wide with no line, so kind of some people are like, is it 1 lane or 2 lanes? Are we changing anything, or a turning lane on that?
I'm scared.
Fairly cut off where?
So when you're coming off of the highway and you're going in down that road, it's just really wide, but it's not technically 2 lanes, but it actually could be like a turning off lane at some point, that road. As new people have moved into that area, they've asked, because there's no line there's no line, it's just very wide in a section. I'll drive down
On
and take a
Spearlake
picture.
Cutoff itself?
Yeah, I'll drive down and take a picture. It's before you
Yeah,
get
I
to
know what you're
Flagstone.
talking there. It's not wide enough to put in a turn lane.
It's just extra wide. It's not
Yeah.
a turn off section or like a,
Oh, are you talking there by Ell's Welding?
No.
No, right at
That's
the
only one
highway.
wide spot that I.
We run that pretty wide, that intersection, because it's considered a heavy haul road through the state.
oh, okay.
So when they're doing their permitting and sending their oversized loads, they'll send them that direction, which kind of bites us sometimes during spring breakup, because they don't always get the memo, and then we gotta stop them out there from crossing.
So you're almost dealing with the larger terrain.
Yeah,
Okay, so
you-
that's probably
a
what
lot
that is.
larger trucks that'll come in across
Okay.
that.
Gotcha.
Well, then I
yeah.
know the answer to say as to why it's that shape.
Yeah,
Because-
it has to be a pretty wide one. There's a lot of accidents that have been happening there here lately, but they're on the highway. It's like people stopping to turn or pulling out. There seems to be quite a few accidents at that intersection. It seems that maybe the state should be putting in they have a lane.
Yeah.
They might be wanting to put in a deceleration lane would probably help a lot.
Because you go
Right
so, especially in the wintertime, that section, some people feel like if you go faster, it gets you through it. And then the storage building that's now for sale, everybody's mad about. But
Yeah,
that's what happens when you receive comments and they tell you everything.
yeah, there's a lot of issues
So, yeah.
at that
Okay.
intersection.
So it's wide for the size of the load.
And just
Yeah,
positive feedback, I've been getting a lot of compliments on the paving of Bay.
oh, good.
People are generally happy with Road and Bridge right now. They see the progress. So,
Yeah, we've had
And before I forget.
quite a few
Wednesday,
happy people.
Spage Road and Lignite Road culverts will be getting patched.
Yeah.
But we're not starting that until after 8 o'clock in the morning because of the school.
Gotcha.
They did culvert replacements out there last week. Then they were scheduling that around with Interstate
Nice.
to come in and pave those patches in.
Is Bay gonna get a center stripe?
No,
No, okay.
not right now. It will get, it's a 35 mile an hour road. No, we bumped
No,
it
you
to
posted
45.
It's 35 at
So,
the Edgemere
yeah, we'll
cutoff
be-
portion, and then. when
yeah,
it
we'll
comes around
be-
On the Bay, it's 45.
We will be continuing the striping from where it ended over there by the other end of A.
Uh-huh. Yeah, where it was already paved.
Yeah, where it was already paved. We'll continue that striping, but it probably won't be till after we chip seal it next year. When we do it, we'll have to budget that in. That wasn't budgeted in
You
at
can
all.
chip seal the existing pavement on the north end of Bay.
Yep. All of our new asphalt gets chip sealed the following
To
year.
Protect the base.
We put that kind of money into asphalt, we just assume put a different wear surface on it, so we're not ruining it, and that helps seal it and keep our investment there. And then it'll get done every 7 years after that.
Sounds good.
Yep, makes a big difference. So I have one more thing to ask. You guys are gonna be out of the office next week. Is there a possibility of doing a special meeting when you get back to where I could have an agenda item approved? I have tires that are coming up that we
how
get
much are they?
about 60
Oh,
grand.
they're more than your 20. Do you have it ready to do this week?
I could have it ready to do this afternoon.
So why don't you just get it done this week then? Then you don't have to wait till you get back.
Do the special meeting this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I
could,
can do that.
you could probably get, by 10:30, you could probably get it for tomorrow. And just tack it on.
Does it need
Didn't
to
work for
just
some reason.
24
We
or
have two
48
special meetings
hours
next
for
Thursday.
24 for a special.
24?
24 hours for a special meeting.
Are you planning to be back on the Thursday?
Ain't coming back.
You gonna stay in Boise?
So
Hair's really nice out here.
work out with Veronica to get it done this week. That way you can purchase it.
Okay.
Because you don't need to wait that
Yeah,
long.
because I'd like to get those tires, because this is our grader tires and loader tires. It's all of our heavy equipment stuff. I want to get that stuff paid for now so that I know it's going to be here before October 1st. Otherwise, it's not gonna, and I'll have to carry funds forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, and then the crew's been talking about a trench compactor.
Where's that on this agenda?
It's
That's called
not,
a new hire.
yeah, this is just a informative thing that I haven't brought in front of you guys before, so I want to let you know that they are looking at a trench compactor. They are remote control. They swing them in with an excavator. They're like a sheep's foot type. It goes in there and it gives them a real deep compaction when they're working on those culverts that
Talking
are
about
down
the
in the holes.
articulated rolling ones that are remote.
Yeah, yeah, so they're looking at those. They're running, I
I
got
know what
some
those look
quotes.
like.
YouTube wants to show the
Yeah,
video.
they can be ran with the remote or by
How much is it?
35,000,
Oh, that's not that much, actually.
but I have it in
Are
the,
you guys using a plate compactor or something on the end of
yeah,
the
we use
excavator
the
right
plate
now?
compactors,
Just a
not
lot
on the
behind.
end of the excavator, but we have jumping jacks and we have an old plate compactor that's about lost its use.
So can you bring it before the board with your request to do it? Because I imagine you're trying to do that also to not do a carry forward, or no?
Yeah, I will put that in the special meeting too for consideration.
If you can pull it off this week, great. Otherwise, if one of the other two commissioners plans to be back for our two special meetings for batches to be approved next Thursday afternoon, because we have the clerk's batch and the ambulance district's batch.
I will be here on
I plan to be
Thursday,
here.
but on some things, unless it's,
Midday.
unless it's an emergency, I like to try to make sure that the board is here. I think you could get away with doing it this week though, and then all of the board is here because I think we can do that.
Yeah, I'll work with Veronica and then I'll put the memo together today and put it out. That way we have it.
We
Yeah.
probably have
That's
some
fine.
openings this Thursday. Is that what you're thinking?
Just wherever this week, that way it's getting it taken care of, because I know, and, because that's kind of part of your budget that I don't like, is the cost of what you need exceeds what the authority is, and so there's a delay of moving forward on items. Like tires are, they run out, they wear down, you need tires. It begs the question of, should we have sections that we can just spend in a budget like this so that it's not always come before the board on something that's
I could change the
Item.
authority in that resolution from 20,000 to 100,000.
Well, we could also
Well,
just
70.
pre-authorize, we could pre-authorize
You
with
just
the
go
budget
as far-
approval for a specific
like far
item. We were
left,
talking
man.
about this.
Well, it's a pretty
Normally, we
easy,
would have plenty of notice for tires, though.
it's,
Yeah, it's not usually an emergency.
Not usually.
Yeah,
it's
they're
not
not
an emergency, but
emergencies.
it's the thing of, when I
It's
think of
something we
tires, I
always
think
have to
of,
buy.
it's something you always have to buy, and sometimes they come up on sale, depending on what vehicle that you're needing to put them on. And instead of waiting for the wait, I need to ask, if I see an opportunity to reduce a cost, and it's just the technical, not everything in road and bridge is that way, but on some
Right.
things they are that way. And that was why we justified moving it from the 5,000 to the 25,000 when we did that a couple years ago. That's what I mean, because I equally agree that the reason you do it is because there needs to be some oversight of the budget spending. But we want to make sure we move business along without an interruption. Because that's part of what we recognize with when waterways, you get permission to buy the vehicle, but then the vehicle comes up and then you needed a meeting to actually buy the vehicle.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah,
I
and our
mean.
tire budget, we expend that every year. If it don't have tires on it, it's got tracks on it.
And I think
which are a
it might
little
be
more
a difference
expensive,
of
but-
saying, them identifying these vehicles need tires and then the board's just voting that different, I don't know. It's just a thought of not waiting for something we know we already agreed to needs to be done versus
Right.
business.
Yeah, I
And
think
this one will be expending the tire for our equipment. I will be pulling in another one after October 1st for our trucks.
Yeah.
And our
Not,
vehicles.
Not to question the director, but I think the board would be better off giving pre-purchase authorization on specific items where we've approved the budget amount
Yeah.
that we think are time-sensitive buys versus just increasing the overall signature
Right.
authority.
Yeah.
Just because of our responsibilities.
Yeah, I will be bringing one forward for you guys, a resolution, which I haven't written yet. But I will be bringing it forward for contracts that have already been approved by the board. So I can keep those contracts moving without having to come to you guys and put the engineering firms and everybody else on hold waiting for a signature for you guys, even though it's not any cost. Because you guys have already approved the projects, like the Little B projects. You guys have already approved those, but some of them have to have signatures on them so that they can get the engineers paid that LTAC needs. And that's something that I can sign with your authority, but right now I can't.
Okay.
But it would move those projects along instead of holding them up, because it does hold them up
I
quite
think that
often.
makes sense because the contracts already outline the payment.
Yeah, you guys have already approved all of it.
Right.
Yep,
Anything else?
nope, that's it.
When you bring forward your culvert compactor, I think that might be a good time to show your video on our thing, and then the value of having the manual versus the people, in case they go on strike too.
Yeah, it can be ran either way. So I will make certain that Ron shows up at that meeting so he can play it on his phone to you.
He was ready to show it. He had his
He was
phone.
pretty excited.
Those are slick.
Yeah. All right.
I did receive
Much
a
safer
picture of
too,
him
so we
holding the
don't have
remote
employees
control
down in
like
the
that.
trench.
Let's just say it took about 4 or 5 hours time frame off of Sable Road when we rented that versus the jumping jacks. So I
Nice.
had the road open by 5 PM.
Gotcha.
And I think that's something to tell the community when you're talking about a $35,000 purchase, what does it actually save you? Not to mention, you could throw in your physical, removing the physical aspect of people
Yeah,
having to
reducing
do it.
injury claims,
Right.
workers'
Is
comp.
that, I'm gonna assume, but you can let me know otherwise, that probably compacts better than the jumping jacks,
Yes.
I would think.
Yep, it's a sheep's foot, so it has more of a deflection going downwards.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a little better setup. Same with the plate compactor, it's more working in that surface.
Isn't the
Where the
pounds per
sheep's
square
foot
inch
take it
greater on
down.
that one? For compaction,
And
I
the
thought.
machine itself is 3,200 pounds, where a jumping jack's 150 pounds.
Right. But yeah, it is, because you're point loading
Yep.
with the sheep's foot roller, and then it just keeps.
You guys have one that goes on like an excavator?
We have a hoe pack that goes on the back of a backhoe. It's a vibratory pack that we put on the backhoe, and we've used those.
But you don't have like a sheep's foot that goes on
No.
backhoe and excavator?
No. That would be a roll type.
Yep.
Yeah, but we don't
trying to
have one
order
of
one?
those.
Yeah, because I kind of need one at the house there for.
All right. Anything further from you before I go to public comment?
I'm good.
Anything from you guys? All right, we'll go to public comment. Any public comment on road and bridge update? All right, seeing none, any further comment from the board?
None.
Hearing none, it is